First of all, we're really grateful to have this company today. I'll say a little bit about the project that they represent. But this is Nasser Mansour and Musalam. So Nasser and Musalam have come today especially for this event, Into the Blue Zone, which is really important, representing the Bedouin community as part of the Sinai Trail project, which is also Ben Hoffler's over there, his passion and love and labour. I'll say a little bit about the Sinai Trail project before we talk to our guests. So the Sinai Trail is Egypt's first long-distance hiking trail. It's 550 kilometres and it takes 48 days, and I'm determined to do it before I die. And it's crossing the territories of all the 8 South Sinai Bedouin tribes. And it's owned and managed by an intertribal cooperative, which I think is really interesting, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about. As of 2022, it's been hiked by hundreds of people from all over the world and has created new jobs, new opportunities, as well as giving people the opportunity to explore this really beautiful land that we're so close to. It's worth pointing out that as of yesterday, and we had the privilege of going into South Sinai with both Ben, Nasser and Musalam. I think there is still very few people who've come from COP to visit the land. I think nobody apart from us, perhaps, who came with you. Yeah, maybe with other people. But there's a kind of, this is not sensible thing. We're coming into this land that has been stewarded by the Bedouin community for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And so visiting it feels very important. So welcome so deeply, and we are really proud that you have chosen to come to this event. Thank you. Nasser, should we start with you? Would you like to tell, and you'll need to use that because it's been recorded, would you like to tell me?
Thank you very much. Thank you to bring me here. Thank for everyone is coming to this place to help, and thank for Egypt to bring all of us over the world to be together in this place. It's really something for me. It's very special, very strong. My name is Nasser Mansour. Come from St. Catherine Mountain, and I come to see everybody, and I'm so happy.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musalam from Caribbean tribe. I'm one of the head guides from Sinai Trail. We thank everybody. We thank Egypt, our government that gave us the chance. Thank everybody that helped us to be here. And we came here to share with you a little bit of our knowledge that we carry with us on thousands of years ago. We have been as a Bedouin, meaning the beginner. That means we are the ones that began to live in the first stages. And today we are here to share with you all this conflict, COP27, the climate change. And we are so happy to see everybody here. And we are willing or hoping to share our ideas about how we're going to save our planet. We are Bedouins living in a simple life, living with the nature. We use everything in the nature to live with it, from a very simple things like water that we have in the desert and wells and stuff like this. And we have knowledge how to take care very much for water, because this is very, very important for us. And we also realized that we kind of having trouble in the air and the rain and the plant. they are changing their places from downhill to uphill because of the change in the climate. We also lost so much of what we carry on thousands of years because of way of living. Today we used to live as a nomad, traveling with our animals in the desert for different seasons, for different spots. We had knowledge about stars, about all this connected to the rain, the time of the rain. Then lately we get confused because we used to know that there is a star, we call it Sahel, it comes from the south. And we have to say, if you see a Sahel, if you see it, you have to be careful from flood. And month 9, the star, this star, what we call it south star, we call it Sahel. And this usually the big sign for us for the rain. But the last 20 years, the rain does not come at the same time. It's always changing, sometimes it's coming in the summertime where it is not to be rain. And this does not help so much kind of plants. We also see that the plants change their length from downhill to uphill. So we see, today we are here to share what we have. And so we were so worried about our knowledge because we all started to live in cities and villages and we lost much of our knowledge. So we were so worried the last time, so we are my friends and we created a cooperative that's called Sinai Trail. This supporting 8 Bedouin tribes from South Sinai, from Taba to Znima, and Sharm, Dahab, Santa Catherine, Nueva, all the cities that are around the coast, Gulf Aqaba and Gulf Suez. We made a trail that's 550 kilometers to go through the nature, to learn from each other, from the old people, and always we take young Bedouin boys with us to teach them what we still have. And we always, when we meet old Bedouin in the desert, we ask them to teach the young Bedouins of the knowledge that they have. We use the plant for our medical. We use the animal for our transportations in the desert. So when we hike with our friend that come to visit us in the trail, we also pass the knowledge to them. We try our best not to lose this knowledge, and we think that we need it all. This plant is becoming a big family with all the knowledge that we have today, with all this, let's say, with the internet, with everything. As we became one big village, we hear about everything in America, we hear everything about Europe, we hear about Sudan, about all the world. We hear about the moving mountain from snow in the middle of the ocean. And we could see also the movement of the clouds, that they are not moving like the normal period 35 years ago. Yeah, and today we are here to share you, and again we thank everybody for letting us to have this chance to explain about ourselves a little bit. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Alan, we might still want you to say something. Nasser, you took us on this incredible walk yesterday through the desert. It was extraordinary, and you stopped us regularly to talk to us about the changes that you have seen in the desert and the effects that you're experiencing of climate change. Would you tell us a little bit about those and the effects that they're having on the wider, certainly on the plants themselves, but the wider implications of those changes?
The changes actually, always we see the cloud, we see جعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي. Like everything living is from the water. Like without water, no life. When we are rain for us, we ask something. This is the life of the place. Usually in Sinai, this is the place where we live, is dry place. All our life is from the water. But usually the water is coming, rain is covered all Sinai. Raining, keep going till week, 2 weeks sometimes, snowing in the high mountains. and then come in the spring, all the water run into the wadis. The wadis become full of water, rich, green, and we have something called Wadi Firan. This Wadi Firan is one of the biggest wadi in Sinai. This was all over palm tree because it's lower wadi. Always was the water running along the wadi, and this wadi belonged to all the tribe of Sinai. Like 8 tribes Sinai, every one of them they have a garden or the palm tree, and the season they go to stay there. Why is good? Because all the high mountains, the water are leaking down to this wadi. Now, if you see the picture of the wadi, like 50 years ago, you always walk in the water. Now, when you see the wadi, it's so sad, so dry. Because the water is coming to the, not cover all Sinai. The water always come little cloud to square, maybe for 10 kilometers or less, and become very strong rain, hails. And then the water not come a little flood and then stop with a lot of dust because strong all the sand is go with it, with the dust is locked all the earth. Then the water stop and go in the air. From this become very dry because we have the camels, we have the goats, and the camels is for us is like it's our car. This is where we move in the mountain and desert. It's just a camel. And late after this, then coming insects. These insects, like a bee or a wasp, is come to the noise of the camel putting the egg because it is so dry. This is the place he's wait. He can put his egg. The camel become crazy. And then if you don't catch the camel and clean it up, his camel fall from somewhere and he's died. About the herbs. The herbs is our medicals. This is our for medicals for our animals, for us, for our children. Medicals, our medicine. What's happened? All the because of the heat, everything is gone up to the mountains, very high, and but the problem is already they high, they know where to go. This the highest place we have is 2,642. Most of the plants, the good herbal plants, medical plants, they live so high in the mountain, but this is from the heat. A lot of them, they start to die because of this problem. And always when we have the gardens, we have insects come to our vegetables. We have another herbs against these insects. We make some herbs, we put in the water, and then we put it in the plants, and all the thing is gone. The butterflies, the caterpillar, all of this dying. We find that in the last 20 years, these things doesn't work anymore. Even the plants, we use it for these insects. The insects come to this plant already. Like when you see it there, it's halas, it doesn't work anymore. And always we try to find something new. For this, sometimes we find it, but working for some time, and then have to find it again, become extra work for us. But we should give God, because this is our life, our Bedouin life. We can't live this desert. And also now, the Bedouin before, they can live in any place, and desert is open, is free for everyone. The tribes can move with each other from the place to place, because the water was everywhere. You can find the water. And these years, when the climate change, we don't find enough water. Like the place you have the water running, like as I tell you, this is deep, is like 40 meters down from us on the floor. You imagine you have to dig down, then of a lady go with the goat, she can't get this water with rope as before. And for the goats, we have a lot of animals actually. This is why now you find the people more living together in the same place. And actually the flowers, we live high in the mountain. We live from the gardens. When the garden is flowering, we have before a lot of fruit from this. We have the almond, we have the apricot, we have the pear, we have the pomegranate. Coming different weather. Sometimes it's very cold, sometimes it's very hot, and then we got half from what we got normal before, what our grandfathers before. And a lot of this we see it like every day because we live in it. We in the place. This is why we feel it more than people live in the city because we watch it every day in our animals, our gardens, our birds.
Thank you. I'm going to offer this, any questions for the audience, but I want to ask a really difficult question, and either of you can answer it. What are the implications for the Bedouin? What will happen, do you feel, will happen to the Bedouin if we do not intervene on climate and also to protect your communities? What will happen as a result?
This is exactly what we was worried about, our culture, our community. And this is what I think the Sinai Trail will make big out of it, because it's giving the Bedouin their job, the one that they like, to be in the nature, to be a guide like us, to talk to people, or to pass this knowledge to the children. And this is exactly our fear. This is what made us to make the cooperative, to help all the Bedouin that live in the south of Sinai, in the nature, to try to keep the knowledge more as we can. And what's coming in the future, we are part of the world, and we are survival. So in any case, Bedouin will find a way to survive, because we are living a very simple life, and we don't need much to live. We need a whale, a camel, and a few goats, and a few in a Bedouin tent. And this Bedouin tent, usually we make our clothing from our sheep and goats' hair, and our tent is made out of the sheep hair and the goat's hair as well, from the camel, and our carpets. So we don't need really factories and such a things as our old knowledge. Today we do need it, because most of the young Bedouin be kind of city people, and this is what our really fear about our culture, and that's what the big reason that make us to make this cooperative. And we take the guests with us to show them, and they support us in many different ways. We thank you so much for this. This is a big support for us to be here. We thank everybody that shared with us this evening. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and again, thanks for organization, thanks for Egypt to bring everybody here. And today, actually, I feel I am with people, they like me, just like everybody. Like, I'm really happy. I can't explain it how much, but I'm so happy to see all of you guys. And we are Bedouins. We always live on the mountain. We have, as Masalam said, we have a simple life, and we have our goats. The goats is so important, and camels. They walk in desert for the nature, because they breathe. Because now we have the plants in your house. If just grow, you grow, nobody breathes it, it will stop life. And no, and this is the goats. Eat it and then go everywhere and leave the seeds for the place. This is what we saw. When this is breeze, is green. When this doesn't breeze, is grow and dry and die. This is the life. This is how the life. Camels, goats eat and sharing the seeds everywhere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've got one other short question. If we've got time, I just want to point out we're in the Resilience Hub, and we have just heard about resilience, about adaptability, about mitigation, about loss and damage. We've heard all the themes, and we've also heard about the fundamental importance of culture and how that weaves together all the themes that we are seeking to solve here. My last question is, if you were organising COP27, this space, how might you do it differently?
We will take it to the mountain.
To the mountain. That was take it
That's
to the
our
mountain.
home. That's where we feel
If anybody, does anybody have any urgent questions they want to ask, or will you be here for a little bit afterwards so people can ask you questions afterwards? In which case, we'll move on to the next bit. I'd like to thank Nasser Mansour and Miss Helen Farrar and Ben